What's up, guys? Wanted to talk a little bit about something that is a recurring theme, I suppose, and when it comes to comments and stuff. Uh, there's this idea of iRacing that keeps popping up. People are like, why aren't you playing iRacing? Or why aren't you playing a PC simulator and stuff like that? Why are you playing this garbage, NASCAR Heat 3? So I want to address some of that stuff just to make it a little more clear. I've talked about these things in the past, but I don't know if a lot of you guys maybe stumbled onto my videos, recently. I don't have a lot of subscribers, so I don't know if you have seen videos in the past that I've done or not. But in either case, I'm gonna try to address this thing now, just to put it to bed. When it comes to iRacing, people like to throw that in a lot of comment sections as a way to disparage, NASCAR Heat 3 or whatever, or just console games in general. Clearly, iRacing is superior in terms of physics. It's a more realistic feel, seat of the pants type of racing, which is what a simulator is supposed to be. And the thing is, I've done a lot of research on iRacing. I did consider it, more than once. The idea of it has occurred to me time and time again, but I gotta say, after doing a lot of research, also knowing certain things about myself, I just honestly don't think that iRacing is for me. Now, I'm not putting iRacing down. It's great at what it does and what it is, but I think that people lump iRacing in with everything else. I honestly don't think that's right. I think it's like comparing apples and oranges. NASCAR Heat 3 is just an arcade type video game. It's not meant to be a simulator. It's obviously not going to match iRacing in terms of physics. It's just not. But aside from that, let's talk a little bit about what iRacing is before I go further. iRacing, in my estimation, is not a video game. It's a service, right? It's a simulator-based service, and being a service, it's not a one time you buy something, you own it. You don't own it. It's a subscription service, so you're paying for a service. It's not cheap to me. I can afford it. It's not a question of affordability. It's just a question of, is it smart money? Is it worth it for me? So obviously everything I'm talking about is strictly opinions that I hold. Someone else may feel different, but it's expensive for what it is to me. I'm not someone who wants to go online racing. In case you're someone who's new to watching my videos, I am not a fan of online racing for several reasons, but for the biggest reason of all is just people in general. The idea of racing real people on paper, it's great. What can be better? Obviously, racing real people must be better than racing AI. AI could never match what it's like to race real people. And that's true. But what a lot of people don't take into account is, what is it really like to race, quote-unquote, real people? The majority of people that you race online are either trolls, or they try, but they're just not capable of racing clean. In either case, it's very rare that you're going to be racing amongst a group of people that have good car control and are really attempting to race clean. And I think that there's a tendency for people to overdrive cars. I think that's it happens everywhere, right? Whether it's a video game or even a simulator. So when you overdrive cars, you do tend to lose control, or it's just being over aggressive. Sometimes people are impatient. They're not waiting for the moment to make a clean pass. They're just like, I'm going to take any opening I have and force my car there and try to take the spot, because there is a lack of patience, and it affects all of us, right? I'm not any different. So to me, that is conducive to a poor racing environment. Now, I'm not telling you that all online racing is like that, so please don't come after me with like, oh, you need to race with the right people and you're racing with the wrong people. I understand if you have a specific group of friends or people you trust, you could have a good racing experience. But that is not something that is just easy to find. It might be for people who have a lot of time on their hands, so that's a whole other issue that I'm going to talk about. But just finding lobbies and joining races, for me, there is so much that is not a part of it that I do want to be a part of it, but it's just online racing. It's an exercise, right? I'd love to feel that immersion of being part of, a real league, that it's a real sporting event, that there are real points involved, that you're racing for something. And what I find is most of online racing is just jumping from race to race and bragging rights. Now, there are leagues, okay, in iRacing. But here's the other thing. Not everyone has a schedule that's available for them to just race whenever they want. Myself in particular, I have a very hectic work schedule, okay? I don't have a 9-to-5 job that's Monday to Friday with free weekends. My schedule is a very hectic schedule. I work nights, I work weekends, sometimes I'll work days. I do have a steady schedule, but it's my schedule starts Sunday, right? I work Sunday afternoons into the evening. So my entire Sunday afternoon is shot. I work. I get home by 10:30 at night. I'm not going to start jumping online at 10:30 at night. I'm tired. So that's my Sunday. On Mondays, I work Monday afternoon, which is where I'm at now, and I work a double. So I work 2 shifts back to back. I don't get out of here till 6 in the morning, right? So those are my 3 shifts so far. So I go home at 6 in the morning, and I go to bed. I'm not up till sometimes noon. 11:30, noon. And then I got most of the day, but I got to come to work at night because Wednesday I work the midnight shift. So I come in on Tuesday evening, and I'm here till 6 in the morning Wednesday. Then I go home Wednesday, and that's really my time off for the week because I got the rest of Wednesday from 6 in the morning on. I got Thursday off, I got Friday off, and then I come back to work Saturday 6 in the morning. So I'm not home till Saturday afternoon. So I got Saturday afternoon. But as you could see, that's a pretty hectic schedule. It's hard to plan things around that schedule, as you could imagine. And when I'm off, I'm not like a hardcore gamer who spends all day on video games, right? I have a full-time job, and then when I'm off, I do have other responsibilities and things that I do with my time that don't involve games. I'm 48 years old. I'm not some kid running a YouTube channel who goes home from school and he's just on his computer all day or video games. My time is extremely limited. So if you were to think that joining iRacing, paying the subscription fee, it's not worth it to me. It's just really a crazy schedule. Then I gotta find specific leagues that work with my schedule. On top of that, there's a lot of hidden costs associated with iRacing that a lot of people don't realize. You think it's just that monthly fee, but when you join, and depending on what type of racing you want to do, in my case it would be NASCAR. You got to buy specific cars, and you have to earn licenses. So if you think you're just going to join iRacing and in a week be doing NASCAR races, you're in for a rude awakening. That's not how it works. You got to buy, cars are extra, tracks are extra, okay? On top of that, you have to earn licenses, which take a long time. And it would take someone like me much longer than an average person because of my schedule. I don't have all the time in the world to just play, get on iRacing and try to earn these licenses. It's not, iRacing is to me is an elevated form of racing. It's not for everybody. And I'm not ashamed to say that I don't pass myself off as some great sim guy or racer. I'm just a guy who enjoys video games. I love NASCAR. I'm a NASCAR fan. And I try to get the most I can. And for me, the best use of my time is playing video games. I can't join some service that really doesn't work well with my schedule and is very costly. So that's why I don't join iRacing. So on top of all that, if you think that iRacing is going to be this magical, clean, professional experience, that's another thing. You're going to find out, just like always, it's not as bad as it is, online on a video game. But, hey, you got trolls, you got people wrecking people on purpose on iRacing too. And even those people who take it serious, they get upset when someone makes a mistake. So if I'm racing and I lose control of the car, I get into somebody by mistake, now I got a big screaming match. I don't need that. I really don't. I don't think that it's worth the money for me. I'm not downplaying iRacing. It's a great service for what it is. And for a lot of people, it's awesome. So I'm not, please don't start, oh, you suck, you said iRacing's no good. That's not what I'm saying. Okay? I think I'm being as clear as possible. It's not for me. Okay? It's not the best use of my time. And I really think it would be almost as frustrating as trying to race online anywhere else. Online racing is a mixed bag, and I don't care what anyone tells you. I've had people tell me what a wonderful experience a certain league is, right? And even on NASCAR Heat 2, I joined a couple different leagues. I met a few people online, and I'm telling you, by the third race, half the people quit. Fighting with other people, it's never anyone's fault. People racing like idiots. And sometimes the people that run the league don't know how to run a league, or they're changing rules as they go, or they'll ban a guy who didn't do anything wrong, and it's just a big fucking mess. Or it's just, I don't know, my experience, and I did put time in. I don't want people to think that, well, you just haven't given it a chance. Nah, man, be honest. Online racing is a fucking mess. I'm talking about NASCAR games, arcade games. So iRacing is obviously a better experience because people are paying money. So they'll treat it more seriously. Also, iRacing does watch and manage the service. But it's not perfect. And who cares if somebody gets banned when they already ruined your experience? That's no consolation to you. So when you look at that, also joining leagues, they have to be on specific time frames that work with the time you have. And with me, like I said, I don't have a lot of free time, and I cannot play games based on a schedule. I play games when I have free time and I feel like it. So these are the reasons why iRacing does not work for me, and online racing in general does not appeal to me. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. No matter how much somebody may try to sell the idea of online racing and racing real people and how great it is, I'm sorry, I'm not buying that. Now, I'm not saying that you can't have that experience that you're saying. If you have specific groups of people that you race with and you have specific friends online, I don't have the time. I get a lot of friend requests and I can't accept them because I don't have time, and I've had to delete a lot of friends because it's just too time consuming. So I don't want people to take it personal, but that's just the way it is for me. So I much prefer racing AI offline, and I'm not ashamed to admit that. Is it the most realistic? No. But so what? At least the AI is programmed to race, or at least, yeah, listen, it doesn't always work. I'm not telling you that the AI is perfect, but I know what I'm getting into. I know when I enter a race what to expect. So whatever flaws are in the game, I can try to manage my way around those flaws. Also, we can keep pushing the developer to fix some of these issues. Are they going to fix all these issues? No, that's not how it works, but they might fix some of them. They can improve some of this stuff if we're vocal about it, but offline content is what I really care about. Online multiplayer is a mixed bag, and it's especially online racing is not enjoyable. So could you imagine paying a subscription, also buying cars and tracks, also grinding and working, trying to get a license that maybe in a couple of months you'll finally be able to race full NASCAR leagues, only to go through a bunch of bullshit with other people? That's not a good use of my money. Okay? So it's not about whether I can afford it or not. It's just about, it's not smart money. Okay? As for PC gaming, I've never really been a PC gamer. I bought a PC for games that may come out that I might want to play. Also, because I have a simulator, you know, I did get Project Cars 2, and I do play Project Cars 2 on the PC. I don't play it as much as I play like NASCAR games on a console because I'm more interested in NASCAR. It's a sport, you know. Project Cars, it's a great game for what it is, but it's not really a sports game. There is no sense of immersion in terms of anything that goes on. There's no competition as far as point systems. There is no reward like for competing in a league or you know, it's just the experience of racing cars. So it does it very well, and it's pretty much of a simulator. It's not like iRacing, but it's not arcadey either, and it's a good, fun time to be had, and I enjoy that game. But I don't play it that often because I'm more interested in a NASCAR game. So what's wrong with an arcadey type experience? There's nothing wrong with it if it's done well. Now, as far as NASCAR Heat 3 goes, it's just my opinion. I really like the game. I'm having a great time on it. I know you guys have seen some, you know, videos I've uploaded, and some of that experience is frustrating. There are problems with the game. And that's why I've asked you guys to please write to 704, whether it's Twitter or Facebook, and let them know, please get that AI to spread out more. if you can work on the awareness of the AI. You know, they need work on those things. I don't know how much of that they can actually address on a patch. I don't know the answer to that. But at least the more people that tell them, the better. But I have had some fantastic races. I've enjoyed many aspects of this game more than any game I've enjoyed in 15 years. So I can see the good in spite of the flaws. I knew going in this game was going to have issues. Now, another thing is I do races at 50% most of the time. I've uploaded 25% races because that's what you guys said you preferred. And probably nobody wants to sit through a 50% race. I get it. But the shorter the races are, the more frustration you're going to have because you're rushing to move up the field because the race is short. You don't have a lot of time to strategize or to maybe take your time getting through the field. So when these are shorter races, sprints, you're trying to force your way and the AI doesn't spread out as like it should. That's a combination for a frustrating time. But try some 50% races, which are much longer, and take your time, and you will, I think, enjoy it more. I know I do. Now, there are tracks that no matter what, they're a frustrating mess, like Dover and Charlotte. You know, the AI never wants to spread out. But there are some really good tracks that really are much better experience, like Pocono or Michigan or California. These tracks are much wider. There's more room, and the AI does a better job of spreading out. Now, they still need to spread out more. They still need to not hog the bottom line and just, or freight train you in the bottom or dive bomb and force the car. Like, the sense of awareness is still an issue, but there are tracks that are way more enjoyable. So, all in all, I'm having a great time with the game. And to me, that's the number one question to ask yourself when you play a game. In spite of its flaws, am I having a good time? And there are plenty of moments in this game that I really enjoy. That's just my opinion. But obviously, the game needs work. So I continue to ask you guys, please write to these guys. Tell them to make that AI spread out. It's a problem. And I think that's the number one issue, because if the AI spreads out quicker and more, you have more room to run. You can run the car where you feel you need to run it. You're not forcing the car where you shouldn't. And that will make the game more enjoyable. I'm not saying it'll solve all the problems, but for me, in terms of priority, spread that AI out more. But I really am having fun with this game. I do see a lot of people don't like the game, and I'm really sorry to hear that. I do sympathize. I'm not saying that you're wrong, but in my opinion, this is probably the best game we've had in almost 15 years. It really does a lot of things well. If you took this game from the beginning of the career mode and you didn't run short sprints, let's say you just did every race at 25%, it's a long grind. And I think that's awesome. You're not just gonna, it's a rewarding feeling as you move up and get better. And I'm having a fantastic time. I have yet to mess with custom setups, because I really do want to spend more time on the default setups and do the best I can with it, right? Maybe run another full season. And then, you know what? I'll bite the bullet. I'll start taking setups, online from people that have posted setups on YouTube, and I'll do that. But in the meantime, for the most part, I am enjoying the game. And yeah, there are flaws, but we have to keep pushing these guys to keep fixing this stuff and work on it. I have no idea what they're working on. I'm assuming they are working on coming up with some certain patches, but I really hope you guys help out. You've always, you've always come through when I've asked. I'm not on social media, and I don't want to join Twitter or Facebook. I just don't have the time. And you know what? In many ways, I'll admit, I feel like that old guy screaming at the kids, "Get off my lawn." It is what it is. Maybe that's a flaw on my part, right? But I don't have the patience for social media. YouTube is like, I can do this, but even this, you see, I don't post a lot of videos. I just don't have the time or the energy. I don't make money doing this. So, again, I appreciate when you guys help out. But let's try to keep a positive outlook. This game really is a lot better than I think a lot of people are giving it credit for. And let's focus on keeping a constructive criticism going forward, and helping 704 realize, hey man, these are the issues in the game. You got to work on it and fix it. And please, for the love of God, get that fucking AI to spread out, man. And that alone is gonna elevate the whole racing experience for a lot of people, I believe. So those are my thoughts. Again, iRacing is a fantastic service for what it is, and I'm sure for a lot of people that's the place to be. But I'm perfectly fine playing video games on consoles. There's nothing wrong with arcade games, and there's a lot of enjoyment to be had. And for me, I really do prefer offline content in games. Online multiplayer is a mixed bag, and it's never really been something I could, I've had a lot of fun on GTA Online, but even that, after a while, it's the offline content that I really enjoy. I'm really looking forward to Red Dead Redemption 2. That game is going to be mind-blowing. I can tell by all the information that's been released, people that have already played the game and gotten snippets of it, there's nothing but glowing reports on it. Plus, it's Rockstar. I have I think very highly of that developer. They've never failed to amaze me with the content, and I'm looking forward to that game. And in the meantime, I'm also enjoying NASCAR Heat 3. There's a lot to like. I'm really enjoying the career mode and the grind and moving up slowly. And for me, it's been quite a challenge. Maybe for others, it's not as challenging, but I love the challenge and how competitive the AI is. But, if you could fix these other issues or at least improve them, it'll just make the game that much better. And then let's continue to push these guys, and I'll continue to do my part. And when I make suggestions or a wish list video for the next game, I got a lot to say, and I hope you guys keep supporting as well. So I appreciate all your comments, I really do. And that's it. So I look forward to your comments.